And speaking of WWE, can we talk about Raw?
Let's talk about Raw.
Yeah, exactly. So we have in the notes here. Here's their discussion for Raw, right?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like we don't really have to go into what happened on Raw, but the discussion we have in the notes is why does Raw suck now, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I go ahead.
No. I don't know, but I do know, but I don't know why they don't know. But you go ahead.
Here's like 2 points I kind of want to make about this. One, Raw isn't for quote unquote wrestling fans anymore, right? Guys like us cover wrestling, etc. Like those diehards, I think we're not aged out of it. We might be, but it's not for the diehards anymore. You know, it's just nonsensical to guys like us. But to quote Ron Funches from Renee Young's podcast last week or earlier this week, he thinks it's a show for kids now. And after hearing that, I kind of agree.
Who said
like
this? Who said
Ron
it's a show?
Funches.
Yeah, you know what? I would say that yes, you're absolutely right. They're focused in, hyper focused in kids, but which kids? What age? Because I gotta tell you, 12-year-olds are finding this shit to be corny.
5 to 10.
5 to 10. But I would listen. I love wrestling. I don't want my kids watching Raw. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not gonna sit there and watch. Like, I got a 5-year-old and I got a 4-year-old and I got a 5-year-old. Obviously, they're very young. So a 5-year-old, I'm not gonna sit there and watch Raw Monday nights with my kid. But my 7, 8, 9-year-old, how interested are they in this? It's a very competitive platform now. Listen, you're not competing with TV. You're competing with a kid playing Fortnite on YouTube.
But I think now we don't have that like larger than life, hyper kinetic presentation of the product, right? Like what we have is basically like an LED advertisement for Peacock and whatever their next event is. You know, it's like I think bland is too strong a word because nothing can be bland with that much like colorfulness and like all the characters or whatever.
Yeah.
But there's just something, I can't put my finger on it, but there is just something that's like a turnoff right now.
Well, I can tell you, for me,
okay,
it feels like I'm watching a reality show. It's become so manufactured watching it. And obviously it always has been manufactured. It's always been, but for lack of a better term, obviously the rawness of Raw is gone. It's very striking. Like if you told me this was filmed 3 months ago and that's how they've been operating, like everything is like they film like a TV show, I would believe you.
Yeah.
I would say, you know what? That's absolutely, it comes off that way. It comes off that this is a 52-week TV product with ebbs and flows. Yeah, it's a production. Yeah. While SmackDown, they're going more with the sports feel a little bit. I mean, they suffer from the same issues, but they're a little bit better at giving you a sense of reality opposed to being manufactured.
I'm going to interject a little bit because I feel like we can unpack this like very quickly. I feel like the lack of passion we have for Raw is a direct result of them having no crowd. When we watch WrestleMania 2 nights in a row, I feel like I can speak for both of us when I say that shit was a lot of fun.
It was, yeah.
I think when crowds start coming back, we may have a different tune. And plus, I feel like the guys on Raw and SmackDown, not necessarily they need a crowd, but I feel like it reinforces what they're doing so they can read the crowd a little better, you know, especially when they're cutting promos.
Yeah.
Because
no, you're right. The promos are terrible. The promos are too.
It's like a book report. It's like when you're a kid and reading a book report in front of your class. Like you don't want to do it, but you're trying.
Dude, I hate not talking positively about like when I'm so. Listen, I tend to now on this show especially be more positive about AEW than I am about Raw. However, I hate having that commentary because I try to enjoy Raw. I try every week and I take what I personally like out of how I watch also. And I'm like, listen, it's more of a casual viewership. I'm more of an enthusiast and a someone that covers pro wrestling. So maybe it's lost that luster for me, but really it has not been great. And you could tell by the viewership, you could tell by how people are reacting to this. Nothing really happens week over week. They're attempting a lot of bizarro stuff. The focus is everywhere rather than on the key people.
Mhm.
Braun Strowman pins Drew McIntyre. Okay. Added to the WWE title match at WrestleMania Backlash. Okay. DeVille is brought back Charlotte 1 week after being suspended. Okay, so that was stupid. They suspended her, now she's back. RK Bro, Randy Orton and Riddle defeat Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin. These guys were feuding, and now what are we doing? And then AJ and Omos off of Raw for 3 weeks when this guy was getting a big push.
Well, I think AJ and Omos were on one of the WWE shows. What's it called? Like the Boom or whatever?
The Bump.
The Bump. And he said they've been in Nigeria for 3 weeks partying and celebrating.
Unbelievable.
Which I'm fine with that. Like that's a good little storyline kind of like thing. But I find it fascinating. Yes, they're gonna do their own thing. It's an audience of one. It's whatever Vince McMahon wants. I understand that. It's hard. I don't want to complain about it, but I know both of us don't go into Monday night going, "Oh, this is gonna suck again," like everybody else does. Or like a lot of people do. Like we try to be present and say, "Let's give this another shot." But the onus is on us. It's like Sisyphus pushing the boulder up a hill.
Yes, it is. It is.
Like every Monday night, we're pushing that boulder going, maybe this is going to be amazing,
Hey guys, thanks for checking out Matman Clips. If you want to listen to a full episode of the show, click on one of the links below and be sure to subscribe to us here on YouTube and of course everywhere podcasts are available.